it's like the last thing a parent wants is kid, you know, grinding the edge of life and death. But now they're doing really serious snowboarding, and that's kind of freaks me out a little bit.
Hi. Drop in the camera in snow. I'm Bjarne Salen. God morgon. That means good morning in Swedish. For over 15 years, I traveled the world creating action sports films and documentaries. If there was a competition who looked most like a shit show, I think I win. Whoop whoop. Well, team, what's the plan here?
Okay, we're clear for takeoff.
But along the way, I realized something was missing. Shall we?
We shall.
A deeper connection with the people in front of the camera.
I mean, generally, I just tell people to harden the fuck up, you know?
In this series, I spend a full day following my guests in their everyday life.
The buff shed.
Helps the old skier knees.
And we end the day with a Swedish Fika.
What do you know about Fika so far?
That it's a moment to reflect, spending time with people, just talking.
Have a cup of coffee.
That is the most Swedish thing ever.
I'm Bjarne Salen, and this is Fika with Bjarne. Today's guest is the pioneer big mountain snowboarder, Jeremy Jones.
Cheers.
Thanks for doing this.
No worries.
Who's known for pushing the limits of backcountry riding, especially through his human-powered expeditions captured in films like Deeper, Further, and Higher. He's also the founder of Protect Our Winters, a climate advocacy organization mobilizing the outdoor community to fight climate change.
I didn't start drinking coffee till I was 28, and I had my first kid, and now I love it. Look forward to it.
Jeremy also started his own snowboard brand called Jones Snowboards.
This shows you how vast it is. It's what I call the wonderful problem.
Let's see what an everyday life of Jeremy Jones looks like, and dig deeper into who he is more than we might already know. Oh yeah, and of course, have a fika. What book do you have there?
I have a Fika book. Look at that. Art of the Swedish coffee break.
The hardest part of making coffee is now letting it sit. Mia! Good morning.
It's so hot. Eastern Canada.
Oh, look at your, this is your East Coast.
This is why
one.
you can see the mountains.
We got Stratton.
It's bleak.
Yeah, though.
I don't know, that looks like mountain.
I don't know if that's me and Mom or what.
You're a dad now. They are 17 and 20 years old.
Yep.
Has that impacted you in terms of what you do in the mountains when you actually became a dad?
I think it's put more weight on my shoulders in the mountains, like they're with me, but I can't say, there's a photo behind you of from this line in the Himalayas I rode, you know, that they were born for that. I mean, what I would consider my most, the lines I'm most proud of, I've ridden since they've been alive.
Are you on the Freeride World Tour this year?
Yes, I
Yeah?
am.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, which should be very exciting. It's gonna be fun. Where's
And
your
what about you, having the kids now, doing things that maybe your husband were doing for many years?
That's Bjarne's.
I wish we played tennis. It's exciting on one hand and then completely nerve-wracking on the other.
It's hard, man. As a parent, it's so, your natural instinct is to like pad everything and take all risk out of your kid's life, because God forbid something happens to him. But in that will lead to all these other problems that are probably harder to fix. And my biggest fear raising kids was pushing them too hard and having them not like snowboarding. And I'm not guilty of pushing them, but I sure did get them to the base of the mountain and open doors for them that they chose to walk through.
Do you know what your kids want to do?
Well, They want to be pro snowboarders. Oh, it's awesome, you kids want to be a pro snowboarder. And I'm like, yeah, parts of it is, but it's like the last thing a parent wants is a kid, grinding the edge of life and death. And it's given me this whole new appreciation for the sport that I obviously love more than anything else. But now they're doing really serious snowboarding, and that's kind of freaks me out a little bit.
You have been in the Himalayas, you've been in Alaska, you've been kind of riding all around the world, and the shit you have done is like impressive. And
you too, by the way.
Thanks.
Yeah, so right back at you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we actually got to do something together. That was some years ago now, but up in Alaska with Cody on the 50 project, we got to do the meteorite and pontoon together.
Like, it looks like there could be a little slab above this.
Yeah, and those, I mean, that is as far as I always say, like, those are trophy lines, and those are top shelf trophy lines for me. I mean, that was very special. So those are some of the best days of my life. So I'm glad I got to share it with you.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Likewise, that was super fun.
Yeah.
And we did those in I think just 3-4 days maybe. You have done this career for so long, and the things you have done it's been pretty dangerous and pretty risky, some of them. What do you do why are you still alive?
Look, this is not like I have everything figured out. This is my approach. Here's a bunch of mistakes I've made. And here's personal protocols, which I think are really important to build in, because protocols, they defend you from a lot of maybe mistakes that could happen. And terrain selection, I think, is a huge part of it. And snowpack. I'm really picky about the type of snowpack that I go to. There's a reason I live in the Sierra. As you saw, right now, unfortunately, we have no snow, and we do have a wetter snowpack. If there's deep instability in those packs, then they're just crossed off the list for the year. And so it's like matching clean terrain, and that allows you to take more risks with how you ride, because you can fall. That's not to say that I don't ride in no fall zones, but I'm not going to ride a suspect snowpack in a no fall zone. If I'm worried about avalanches, then no fall zones are off the table. Pretty picky about the snowpack and terrain selection.
Have you ever been buried in an avalanche, fully buried?
I've never been fully buried in an avalanche.
So you must do something right in the mountains, the amount of things you have been riding, that's pretty impressive.
The reality is it's a zero mistake sport that we do. So it's like tomorrow's a new day. And I think that it's like, I just got done with an Abbey course, and I'm not there going, that's the one course we'd never graduate from. And I've been asked to teach them. I'm like, I want to be in there, man. I need to be going through all this stuff myself and learning and asking questions. But there's certain playbooks, I got a lot of buddies in the Tetons that are riding these steep lines in deep POW. They can't ride them top down, so they're forced to making these big avalanche calls in big terrain, walking up a mountain in deep snow. There's complexity in the snowpack, and I'm like, I don't have that playbook, so I don't ride with them. And these, they do, and sometimes I will, and I'm like, all right, I've read there's not much complexity in the pack, but I also, when I'm out with them, I know that there is a decent chance that I will back off, turn around at the base of this line. Like, oh yeah, they want to go there. I'm like, that does not seem in to me, and I'll bail.
I mean, you've been doing this professionally for more than 30 years, like 35 years basically. And it's something that I feel like a lot of younger people also, it's good to listen to that.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, it's good to keep track of when you turn around and when you don't. It's like, oh, I haven't turned around in a while. It's a good opportunity to turn around.
Turn around is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. I even gave a talk about turning around is cool one day. It's like super good.
Yeah, because you know, we love it so much, but you also and we want it so bad, but then you gotta be like, dude, it's just a friggin' mountain. Like, I'm out of here. It doesn't feel right. I don't need it.
All right, so here's a little powder tip. See how we're getting into these green mossy trees now?
Yep.
What creates that moss is this a really wet part of the range. And when you're in the green mossy trees, that's where the powder will last the longest. So there you have it.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's a pro tip.
Yeah, pro tip. If you're like traversing across the woods and maybe you got 3 inches of dust on crust and not riding that good, but 6 would ride really good, and you're doing a traverse and you get into the green mossy trees, that 3 inches is probably 6 inches and you're riding POW.
I didn't know that. When did you start splitboarding? I feel like you've been helping that evolution of splitboarding, really.
Yeah, so I started splitboarding, I mean, early on, I had a splitboard, I think at probably 95 was my first DIY splitboard. There were no production splitboards. But where I really went all in on splitboarding was 2008. Prior to that, I was shooting movies, mostly focused in Alaska, using helicopters, and then I made a dramatic shift. I thought it would be the end of my snowboarding career, and went and started doing these foot-powered movies. The first one we did was with Chris Edmonds, called My Own 2 Feet. Really just this low-budget, super niche film, but it showed me that you could document foot-powered snowboarding. I remember I'd been in Alaska. I think I was there for 8 weeks, and I come home, and I'd done some trips for That's It, That's All, just my first winter camping and things of that. And I went, and like an hour and a half from here, went up on Carson Pass, hiked this line, round top. It's the Crescent Moon Couloir. Never been there, never seen it until that day. And I climb it and snowboard back down, and I come out the bottom, and I am overcome with all this emotion. I'm literally brought to tears of joy and meaning, and I don't know. It was just, you never know when that stuff hits you, but it hit me there, and I was like, man, I was just in Alaska for 8 weeks of heliboarding. At no point did I ever have this big of a feeling riding, and I was certainly well on my way to going foot powered, but at that point on, I'm 100% foot powered movie making. And everyone is like, wow, he's taking this eco stuff really serious, and now he just rides low angle POW. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna go ride the gnarliest shit I've ever ridden, and I'm gonna hike it.
Oh, thanks for sharing that. I didn't know that kind of story. That's really cool.
My whole life and livelihood is really been, is the result of people supporting the film, supporting the product, supporting the stuff that I do. Like, I'm made by snowboarders and skiers. If they didn't do that, I wouldn't have a job. I wouldn't have all this stuff. And, naturally, someone whose life is made up by the winter sports community have given me this platform. I see this change that's happening. So of course I'm going to use the platform that the people have given me to try to help for the long-term health of the sport. And that's what led to Protect Our Winters. And
is that how you started Protect Our Winters?
I mean, I started Protect Our Winters with, Rosignol, my previous sponsor. They gave me, I told them I wanted to do it. They actually gave me a $10,000 check to get it started. I sat with the idea for a couple of years of just like, who am I to start it? I didn't, I barely graduated high school, but I know there's a problem. I'm seeing it in the mountains, and I just feel like our industry, our community should do something about this. And early on, I was just looking for a place to send money to, and I just couldn't find it. And I finally started it with this belief that together we can protect our winters.
So that's kind of the goal with, what is the short term and what's the long term goal with Protect Our Winters?
Yeah, I mean, the long term, the goal is to, get society to not burn as much fossil fuels, so we have a more stable, colder planet where we still have winter. What you learn, though, is, as sad as it is, it's December right now, we can't ride and what have you, and that's a bummer for us, but the repercussions of that on the world, or just take California for example. It's like 80% of our water comes from snowpack. So what if we don't have snowpack? We don't, then the food shortages from that, then the fire problems that come from that. It's, as sad as it is, we can't go snowboarding right now. That's really the least of our problems from all of humanity's situation.
And what about people that don't believe in climate change?
People that don't believe in climate change, or I should say it's not believing or not believing, I'd say it's people that don't accept the fact that the climate is warming, and we don't listen to the scientists. Those scientists went to the same school where, you might be getting a new knee from a doctor that went to that school, and they're actually in the same science department, and all this technology that comes from the same institutions that we're getting our climate science from. So it's tough to talk to someone who doesn't accept the facts of science, and I don't put any energy towards that.
So why are people in this country making the climate such a political thing, you think?
The politicians specifically made it, and the Republican Party, especially if they are in a place that is a tough, a tight, what we would call a purple state, their biggest funder, odds are, is from the fossil fuel industry. So they're really a lobbying arm of the fossil fuel industry, which wants us to use as much of their product, which is burning as much fossil fuels as possible, so they can continue to make money off of that. They'll take a small part of that money and they will use it to donate to lawmakers that will help them pave the way for them to burn as much fossil fuels as possible. When you go to France and Germany and Switzerland that isn't sitting on a bunch of fossil fuels, they do not have these big, powerful industries that are using that power to sway their politicians. So they look at us like we're crazy. What do you mean you guys deny that the climate is changing? Yeah. That's impossible.
Yeah, like all my friends in Europe, they're like, Bjarne, what's the situation over there? It's kind of weird, huh? I'm like, it's kind of weird.
The one place you do not want your issue to fall under is identity politics. So like gun control would be in identity politics. And when I say that, that means like if you identify as a Republican, here's your list of beliefs, And if you identify as a Democrat, here's your list of beliefs. And you sign on for all of those. And that's where climate, one, it's not a top 3 issue, especially for, say, the Republican Party. When I think about it, I'm like, what stories are we not telling that we need to tell to get someone to say, hey, this is a top 3 issue for me, or a number 1 issue? So for me, it is. Like, if no question about it, if the Republican Party was like, we're all in on CO2 reducing policy, I would push away, you know, I don't like guns, but I'd be like, climate's going to kill a lot more people than guns will, so I'm going, that to me, I'm just going for the most pro-climate candidate, regardless of where they are down ballot.
I've probably climbed this mountain more than any other mountain in the world. This is the backyard.
I don't think of age much, but when I turned 50, I'm like, oh my God, how many more springs do I have left? How many more powder days? How many waves? And I just like, kind of a panicky, not panicky, but heavy. And then I'm like, yeah, so to read this guy who, he was actually in his 80s when he said it, but he's like, oh yeah, me at the highest level was about 65.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that.
I do too.
Yeah.
I really needed that. So I'm like, well, I'm like, how many more trips do I have? I'm like, I'm just getting started. So.
If you were gonna have a fika with anyone in the world right now, someone who's not here anymore, someone who's here, just anyone, who would you want to have a fika with right now?
Yeah, I mean, I would say my dad. You know, I recently lost my dad, and
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, he's lived an incredible life, 79, and but yeah, that would be rad to share a fika with him.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for an awesome day. Thanks
No
for
worries,
sharing some wisdom.
Dude, right back at you.
It's great.
Thank you for these cookies. They're so good.
What number do you give these Swedish gingerbread cookies, 0 to 10?
I think in this genre of gingerbread cookies, they're a 10.
10?
Yeah. I haven't had a better gingerbread style or ginger type cookie than these.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you guys know how to do it.
It's funny because I was giving them to Adrian.
They're great.
What number do you give them, 0 to 10?
On the cookie scale?
He gave them a 4. Yeah?
I mean, like a 4.
4?
Yeah.
4 out of 10?
Yeah.
They weren't that good?
Maybe 5.
You're kind of offending me now.
They're fine.
Well, he's like Swiss something.
Put that against like a home-baked chocolate chip cookie.
I don't know, it doesn't come off to a good start, Adrian.
Guide guy, owner of a guide company. Nothing's ever good enough. What's up, Jeremy Jones here. If you enjoyed Fika with Bjarne, then please subscribe so he can keep making these really cool episodes.
Ah, that was a good one.
All right.
Get down the ship with water. Come on, bring it in here.
All right.
Good man, thanks man.
That was really